What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of SDGC. It is Thursday, May 20th, 2021. And as you can see here, we're experimenting with a new look. We got kind of like a new theme going on here. We got a new thing going on here. It's not the final product, so please bear with us. But I figured we should mix it up a little bit and try something new. So Jeff and Finn, if you want to go, if you're looking at the Twitch chat, you should see it. We're live now. So
I like it.
Finn,
I dig it.
Finn, what's up with the Finn? I gotta ask, dude. What's the mask, man? Like, what are you doing?
The mask was right there, and I was like, you know what? I want to be Yamcha for a day, so I put it on real quick. But
right, well, take it off.
And I realized it muffles me.
I want to see your handsome
Even
face.
a mask can't save Yamcha, my friend.
It really can't. It really can't. By the way, let us know in chat, everyone, how our audio levels are, because we've been having some weird issues with audio recently. So if you don't mind, let us know. We should be coming in pretty clear for everyone, but still, keep us appraised. We're waiting on Britt. She is off. Wiping her kid's butt. And hey, he's a toddler. What do you want? I've done it I used to do it all the time. I mean, I don't do it anymore because my son is 13, and that would be really weird. But we actually have. For everybody listening on podcast services, a super cool guest tonight. Hana is with us. And Hana, thank you so much for joining our ridiculous little family tonight. Can you, if you don't mind, tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I mostly just shitpost about games on Twitter.
Oh, you're in great company.
That's most of what I do. It's volunteer work. I put in the hours. I do some art on the side, and I'm also working on kind of just like my first graphic novel, I guess.
Oh, nice. Can you tell us a little bit about it, or is that spoiler territory? Like, are you not ready to let the tiger out of the cage on that one?
It's sci-fi. It's where it's about like coming back from death, where I'm still working on figuring it out. I have a few people like I'm talking to, like figuring out like what to do and how to make it not weird.
So coming back from death is essentially like when you log off Twitter, right? Like that's essentially the vibe you're going for.
And you log back in.
Absolutely.
Or you like make a big tweet about
I can
deactivating, and then you come
right.
back, like,
exactly. No, I totally. I can absolutely sympathize with that. Finn, Finn, just say something. Put your hand down.
It is a question for the guest, because the word graphic novel just perked my ears up as the comic guy. Are you the artist and author, or are you working with someone?
Right now I'm the artist.
Awesome.
I would love to work with someone else, but yeah, right now it's just me.
That's awesome. Go you.
Now, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been drawing since I think maybe like my junior year of high school. So it's been like 8 years. I don't know how to do math. 8 or 9 years.
God, I'm so old. I feel so old. What year, Hana, I have to ask, what year did you graduate high school?
2013.
God.
Hey, John, what decade did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school in 1998, man. Like, oh, God.
He actually got Final Fantasy VIII as a graduation gift.
No. So Final Fantasy VIII came out in 1999, motherfucker. Okay?
98, sir.
No, sir. It came out in 99.
Shh.
Look that shit up, Finn. Look that shit up right now.
Fine, I'm doing it right now. Son of a bitch, it's 99.
Yeah, I fucking told you, Finn. Of course.
Oh yeah. Well, where did it come out in Japan? Actually,
hey, Finn, I don't live in Japan. Okay, I live here in the United States, and in the United States, it was localized in 1999. Just pointing that out. Okay. I told you. How long? What's the time? How long did it take us before we got a Final Fantasy reference in there?
So Final Fantasy VI
7 minutes
came out when. That means, John, that means you were a freshman when Final Fantasy VI came out.
That's correct. I was a freshman in high school. I was a freshman in high school, which means that when my favorite game of all time came out, Hana wasn't even born, I don't think.
I'm sorry to derail this so quickly. Can I ask? I always hear freshman. We don't have that word here. I don't know what that means.
High school. First year of high
freshman,
school. That's when you started. 9th grade.
It means you're fresh.
Yeah, high school here starts at grade 10, though.
Okay. For us, high
Okay.
school starts in
So grade
9.
is freshman.
Yes.
Jeff,
Okay,
Canada
thank
does
you.
it so much stranger.
7 to 9 is junior high,
Why
and
is
then 10 to 12 is
Canada?
high school.
Why is Canada?
I don't know.
Jeff?
We just are. We were just here, and we had to do something with it.
Okay, so
know
Rar
what we're
says
doing.
that's an Alberta thing. Ontario doesn't have junior
what?
high.
Okay, I don't fucking know.
All right,
Man.
cycling back to Hana. So you started drawing in junior high.
Yeah,
And then,
Hana, I warned you. Like we're fucking all over the map on this podcast. Okay, we go all
Good.
off the rails.
I took a break for a while. I majored in film editing, post production with an emphasis in whatever filmmaking practices with an emphasis in post production, all that stuff. Dropped out, so I don't actually have a degree. Started doing more art. I had a minor in studio art, but it was photography focus, so I was doing a lot of photography and stuff. But I got back into drawing about a year or two ago, especially like with the pandemic. I was kind of just drawing something at least once a day. I'm still taking classes like online and stuff about it, and just trying to get better and trying to like refine it before I start like actually drawing the book.
So, so for everybody who is listening on podcast services right now, I do want to ask, like, so you've got, obviously your room there is soundproofed, so you've got a professional mic. You got some really cool, kind of pulsing lights back there. So clearly, you have a background in streaming, but you're not streaming right now.
Yeah, I kind of, I did the thing that everyone does, where they buy every streaming thing that they need, and then never actually
use it.
I've done like 5 to 10 streams, maybe. I think my Twitch account is deactivated right now, actually. I haven't even like watched anything on Twitch in a while. But I just moved into a new space where we actually have room for me to actually start streaming, so I am planning on doing it sometime soon at least.
Well, you've already got the setup ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. I just kind of have to like click start streaming.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Yeah, no, and you are always welcome to come and stream with us whenever you want.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And so where the hell is Brittany, by the way? Is she?
She's busy with family. She'll jump in.
So Finn. So speaking of family, Finn. By the way, Hana, thank you so much for that introduction, and we are super happy that you decided to waste an hour and a half of your time with us.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing anything anyway. So
way to slum it.
Yeah. You're true. Yeah, you really are slumming it right here.
That's what I say every Thursday when we do this. I wasn't doing anything anyways. So
yeah,
I
we
guess.
We might as well podcast again.
SDGC, the podcast of no other.
That's what we've been saying every Thursday. That's what we've been saying every Thursday for 4 years. Well, we're not doing shit, so we might as well just go live again.
It was either this or doom scrolling.
Oh, and by the way, if you're new in chat, Rar just threw out the link to our Discord. We got over 300 people in there. We are a super inclusive community. We focus on positivity, inclusivity. Please come and join us. There's not a mean person in that Discord. With over 300 people, that's pretty impressive that we have no assholes in there.
That's a bold claim when Jeff is there.
Wow.
I mean, Canadians are notable mean people. So
okay, I'm starting to get shit talked in the chat already by Rar. So Finn, I got a question. So
yes, sir.
We were talking about this. We mentioned that Britt is off taking care of her kid. She'll be here. I'm curious. How old are how old is your baby now? How old is Anna now?
She just turned 2 months last week.
2 months. Okay, so have you acclimated? Look at how sweet she is.
Cute ass baby smile.
Look at how sweet she is.
Oh my god. Oh, Anacellus Finneman.
God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy she doesn't look like you. But so what? You don't want her to have like a big bushy beard. All right. So here's my question. Have you acclimated yet? Like, how long did it take you to acclimate to changing a diaper? Like, wiping the poop up.
Shockingly fast. It's so much easier than people make it out to believe. Actually, really proud of this. We were out eating, and it was and she had to get a diaper change, but the men's room had obviously nowhere to go. So I found this one section of sink and like laid down her little like changing sheet that we bring, and I did it one-handed while holding on to the bag and like holding on to her and doing it all. And I, by the end of it, I was like, hot damn, that's pretty awesome. I was proud of myself. I came out of the bathroom like holding her up like a trophy. I was like, yeah, I did it. And then now I'm an expert, basically, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, it didn't take me too long either. That was literally the first, like when I met my kid when I got home from Afghanistan, that was literally the first thing I did was change his shitty diaper. Before I even got to like hug him or take a nap with him, he had literally filled his pants the moment I like walked in the door. And I don't know if that was a sign for things to come, but that was the first thing I did was change his diaper. But she's adorable, man. You should be extremely proud.
Yeah, today was rough. It was my first day back from paternity leave, so it was after 4 straight weeks of just me and her having to go back to work and deal with lame people. Not fun. I don't recommend it.
Jeff, I know it's not exactly a baby, but how is your cat?
It's basically the same thing. That's what I tell all my friends that are parents.
Oh, right.
All the same struggles, you know.
Like,
I have to clean out her litter box. It's the same as. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. She's messy. She gets shit everywhere. Like, you constantly find her in places that she's not supposed to be.
Actually, so we have a like on our our floor, like we have our main floor and our upper floor, but at the top of our second floor, we've got kind of like a half wall that runs across the stairs, and it's open to below, and there's like a 20-foot drop down to the first floor, and she always jumps up on that little railing. And she kind of scrambles and stumbles, and I'm like just waiting for her to fall 2 stories one of these days, and it scares the shit out of me.
She's a cat, though. That's not going to happen.
That's what my wife says, but I don't know, man. Like I've seen her. She tried to jump onto a futon the other day and just went in head first and wiped out.
Wait, hold on a minute. Why is Brittany in chat? But not
Brittany's in chat. She's on Twitter. She is everywhere except on the show.
Wow,
she's literally everywhere but here on the show right now.
Hana, do you have any pets?
I have 2 cats, and yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's no different than having a newborn.
You know what? I think this podcast, especially with Hana on right now, is more like our cats equal the dogs of the podcasts, which I think is the first time that's ever happened.
I don't know. So I have 2 dogs. We have 2 cats that I tolerate. I don't like cats. It's just me. Wow. It's not the cat's fault. It's a me thing. Oh, look, there's Jeff's cat. See, that's actually a good looking cat. That's a cute cat. That is for sure a cute cat. I have 2 dogs. You have wait, hold on. Rar says this is the first time he's learning. Okay, so technically, Rar, they're not my cats. They're my wife's cats.
Oh, that means they're your cats. What are you talking about?
No, absolutely
come on.
No.
Don't.
So she had one of those cats. So here's the deal with this, right? She had one of those cats before we met, right? And she's super old now. And the other cat we have is Sully. Yes, he's named after the Uncharted character. I got her Sully to replace her other cat that we had to give away to somebody on a farm because our fucking house burned down. And it drove the other cat completely insane. And she went totally feral, would just shit everywhere. She would attack me. She would attack... And so it got to the point where we just had to give her to people who owned a farm. Because, I mean, she had lost her mind. And so I got her Sully. And Sully was the first cat I've ever had to wash in the sink because he would have massive diarrhea in his litter box and just roll around in it as a kitten. And nobody believed me until my friend came over and actually saw it happen. And which is why, and that moment really just kind of killed it for me when it comes to cats, was having to wash this cat's shit out of his thick matted fur when he was a kitten. And I had to put rubber gloves on because he would scratch and hiss in the sink.
Hey, remember when this was a video game podcast?
Finn, I'm
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Finn, I'm telling you, hey.
It's known that video games are bad and gamers are bad.
Yes, Jeff is correct.
People playing games on here.
Games are good. Gamers are bad.
I have said on Twitter many times that I am ending video games permanently. I'm destroying video games and I'm ending gamers. And this will be a food podcast, specifically French fries. But it is probably time to ask Brittany once again. Get in here and
once again.
Hurry up, Britt. We miss you. We miss you, Britt. And that's why we're so excited. And two, let's talk about what we've been playing. And of course, our people are gonna fucking talk shit about me dropping French fries in the chat. Let's go to Hana. And Hana, what are you playing right now?
Pokemon Snap. Pretty much exclusively. Also, a little bit of Story of Seasons still because if it's a farming simulator, I'll play it.
I have heard so much about Story of Seasons from so many people.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Harvest Moon, but better. It's actually like the team that made Harvest Moon. It's a whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it like the spiritual sequel, basically?
Yeah, because there's like the company bought the company that owned Harvest Moon wanted to make different games. So Story of Seasons is like the original team that made Harvest Moon is making farming games now, but it's just Harvest Moon with a different name. It's really good.
You can tell because it has the same cows.
Yeah, exact same cows.
Well, how does it compare to something like Stardew Valley, which I know was I actually played? That's the only farming simulator I've ever really gotten into.
I think Stardew Valley was really inspired by a lot of Harvest Moon, so it's pretty similar. Like it's based around like your day, and certain things take a certain amount of time. You have like the energy bar and stuff. It's basically just the Stardew Valley, but you can't put anything inside, and that's one of the only problems.
So let me ask you this: is there turn-based combat?
No, but kind of. I mean, like how there's like in the mines for Stardew, there's mines for.
There's always mines in these farms.
Yeah.
Like these farms always exist. Right outside a mine with deadly slimes inside of it. Like you would figure,
moles
what's that?
Time. Deadly moles.
Deadly moles. See, that's even worse. Like they're gonna rip your. Like, why would you establish a farm right next to a cave full of deadly rodents who are known for tearing up the soil? That just seems like bad business to me.
It seems like there's an agreement like in place that they don't leave the cave. At least.
So hold on. So the moles don't leave the cave. They don't come to try to ravage your fields.
I've never seen one outside of the cave, at least.
But see, here's the thing. It's a mole. You're not going to see it. They're underground.
I don't see any evidence of it either.
That's what the moles want you to think.
Damn it.
Don't trust moles. Don't ever trust moles. No, but so like, what about this? Like, what if you had a farming simulator, Hana, and every time you wanted to harvest some crops, you like went into battle with the crops, and it turned into like a JRPG battle. And you're sitting there trying to like you've got your scythe or like your machete or your rake, and you're sitting there hacking away at crops and you've got to knock their hit points down in order to harvest. Like I think there is an untapped market here.
I'd still play that. Absolutely. As someone who plays a lot of Pokemon, I'd still play that. Yeah.
I would play the fucking shit out of that. Like, gotta harvest them all. Like you've got to like. I feel like man. I need to make this fucking game now. I'm going to be up till 2 a.m. thinking about this now. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about before we went to Jeff? Anything else you want to mention?
No, I mean I'm playing Pokemon Shield again, but that's just something I'm always doing.
Is that just
who's your starter?
Is that just like par for the course?
Score Bunny every time. I don't change. I just make a new game and start over.
Gang, rise up!
I need to start a new Pokemon Sword game actually myself.
Or you can wait a couple months and start a nice Brilliant Diamond.
Or I could just play another game of Sword. Like I could do that too. But there are so many fucking games coming out over the next few months that I need to play. Jeff, what about you, man? What are you playing right
now? So for once, I'm playing a new release. I'm playing something that's what? Okay, I just saw the ceiling pop in, but it's Brit. Brit's here.
There's Brit.
Sorry, am I interrupting something?
Yeah.
Just me, and I was going to talk about what I've been playing and
talking shit about me. Let me talk what I've been playing. All right.
What the fuck?
No, she stole the mic.
You know what? Go ahead. I didn't want to talk about it anyway. It's fine.
No, I want to. You've actually been playing games, and I want to hear it.
Britt, did you see our new look, by the way, or at least the new look that we're going to be evolving?
I did, and I'm a little upset about it because I just set up OBS with the shit that we were playing, but it's fine.
Yeah, Britt and I spent like 2 hours getting it all set up, and John's like,
so it's not like you need to go with the. I mean, for a stream or anything, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just messing around and playing with stuff. Anyway, Britt, since you stole the mic from Jeff, what are you playing right now?
No, he's going.
Oh, Jeff's going.
I gotta fix my camera anyway, so it's not ceiling camera.
Okay, I'll go. Yeah, no, for once I've been playing an actual new release because usually I'm just playing Final Fantasy 14 or Minecraft or Gran Turismo or just some Sims 4, which is a great game. But no, I'm and it's not a new game. I'm playing a remaster because that's all I've been playing on my PS5. It's just re-releases of old games.
That's kind of all there is.
Yeah, I'm playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Mass Effect, yeah.
I just wrapped up the first game a couple days ago, and I started Mass Effect 2.
That was fucking fast.
Dude. I mean, I don't do side stuff really. I mainlined it. I finished it in like 18 hours or something, and I'm playing on casual because I don't want to fight stuff. Like
casual gamer exposed right here.
Yeah, I want the least resistance possible from my video games. I don't want to be challenged. I don't want to be stressed out. I just want the story. I want to explore. I want to meet lots of cool aliens and shit. So I played on casual. I'm really enjoying it. I love Mass Effect. It was one of my favorite trilogies. I was a little bit late. I didn't play the first one when it came out. I kind of played all three of them right as Mass Effect 3 came out.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and after it had like the better ending added, so I never got that like outrage of the original one. It was a good ending. I was happy with it.
The reason why I played Mass Effect 3 was because of the demo. I fucking loved the multiplayer demo, so I went back before Mass Effect 3 got released, and I played 1, 2, and then when 3 came out, I was all caught up.
The remaster doesn't have the remaster of 3 doesn't have the multiplayer, right?
Not yet, but they said if enough demand's there, they'll bring it in.
Oh,
I would fucking love that shit.
That's the Atlas way of doing shit. Like, you want these games on Switch or like, tell us how bad you want them and you might get them. Like, God, I hate that. Ugh.
But I'm really impressed. People who listen to the show know I'm picky. I'm a little bit of a snob. I mostly play on PC. I'm very choosy, and I have a high bar when it comes to these remasters and stuff. And I was cynical. EA doesn't do a lot of remasters, and BioWare has never done one, so I didn't know what to expect. And I've been burned a lot the last year, especially playing on PC. I bought quite a few games for $100 that just straight up didn't work. And this is one of the better remasters I've ever played. I've tried to replay the first Mass Effect a few times over the years because I've had it on Steam forever. And I just never made it that far. It's dated. It's super dated. And I mean, there's only so much they can fix in this remaster, but the shooting feels, I know it doesn't feel great. Most people playing this for the first time are not going to love it, but I can tell you it feels so much better than the original game.
Can confirm.
Yeah, and just the game looks incredible. I mean, the polygon count isn't super high. Like, some of the faces still look a little weird. The eyes are a little buggy sometimes, but the textures are incredible. Like, the amount of care and effort, and it's some of the little things, like when you get to the main menu and then you choose like to load up Mass Effect 1, it skips like the career and load screen. It just takes you straight into the game. It's clear that a lot of time and effort was put into this remaster, and it's like, it's so close to being perfect, but because I'm picky, I have to mention it. The first game has an audio bug where like surround sound is broken, so like you can barely hear voices, and the guns, like the gunshots, shake my house. It's like,
wait, hold on, the guns what?
They shake my house. Like, they're so fucking loud. It's just they messed up the channels and the levels. And then the second game, the blacks are blown out or crushed, so like it's really hard to see some stuff. But other than that, like, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. These are by far the best versions of the games, and I'm really liking them.
Did they fix the glitch? Like, does Shepard's head still do like a 360 sometimes when he's turning around? No, they got rid of that shit. Oh, that's what made Mass Effect, man.
Yeah,
pretending that Shepard was ingwelt by the beast himself.
And I don't know. Yeah, I've only seen the GIF with male Shepard, but I mean, I played this when I was younger. I was 20 when the first game came out, and I always want to play the dude. I want to play someone exactly like me. And now I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired of guys in games. So like, I'm playing FemShep because I always heard rave reviews about her, and like, it's fucking awesome, man. Like
it's so much. Like, I hate saying this every time. It's so much better.
Jennifer Hale is such an incredible voice actress.
No disrespect to Mark Muir. I will always have a special play. He seems like a great guy. That was my first playthrough. I'm always going to hear that voice in my head. But it's nice to have something different. And I genuinely think, she did an excellent job just injecting so much personality into this.
Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
she sold that fucking series for me.
My most vivid memory of Mass Effect is not even the game itself. It's how pissed off Fox News was about the romantic options in the game. And I remember Jeff Keighley went on Fox News and like the whole panel was like, so try to defend this Debbie does Debbie does Dallas in space. And he's like, that's not what this is. Like, he's like, you see the side of an alien boob. That's about it. He was like, he was like, you don't just turn the game on and then it asks you, do you want to have sex? And you press X. Like,
although the way Mass Effect has been trending, I expect that's what the next game will be.
Just hit X to have sex.
You know,
if
any of you played Andromeda, they have pretty lengthy sex scenes.
Yeah.
Wait, do they really?
They sure do. I remember
Andromeda.
watching it being like, oh, this isn't Fade to Black. This is okay.
Horny on main.
It is.
Wow.
That's the real reason why I love Andromeda so much, by the way.
Now I've just got this mental picture in my head of Mass Effect just flat out saying, press X to have sex, press A to continue the story.
X to sex.
That's also why Andromeda came out a little half-baked. They spent like the entire dev cycle on the sex scenes. They're like, oh fuck, we have to build the rest of the game.
Press X to pay your respects, if you get my meaning. All right, Jeff, what else you got?
Moving on.
That's it. I've
All
hogged
right.
the spotlight enough. I want to hear what other people are
I will actually, I will go next because I'm going to be brief. Of course, obvious. Britt, why don't you go ahead?
Nope.
No, Britt, please.
No, you're going to be brief. Let me hear you be brief.
I am going to be brief.
Now let me begin my 5,000 page essay on.
So I'm replaying Final Fantasy VI. No, I'm just kidding. So obviously, I'm playing some Final Fantasy 14 like I do almost every other day. Yesterday, I streamed the end of the Blue Mage storyline, which Finn was actually watching part of that. And it ends in a boss battle against Gogo, the mimic from Final Fantasy VI, and also 5. And it's got his classic Final Fantasy VI theme, and it's great. Where's Finn going? Finn just turned his camera off. But anyway, look, I'm talking about what I'm playing, Jeff, okay? I'm playing Final Fantasy 14.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm looking at the chat, Jeff. The chat is right here. Okay.
I don't even have the chat open.
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So here's the thing, Jeff. Here's the thing. I will move on from Final Fantasy 14. Never mind that it's something I love and something that makes me happy. I will move on from talking about what makes me happy and move on to something else that makes me happy. I'm replaying actually Persona 4 Golden on Vita. I fucking love P4G. It's one of my favorite games. In many ways, I have always... Jeff, I'm kidding. Jeff, it's a joke.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Jeff, I'm looking at the chat. You don't need to feel like a piece of shit. It's literally a joke. I am kidding. Now I feel bad. God damn it, Jeff.
Great, we all fucking feel bad. Sorry. I just love you so much.
I love you too, Jeff. Jeff, I love you too. No, but I'm also playing Persona 4 Golden. In many ways, there are certain aspects of it I think this game does some things better than Persona 5 Royal. Namely characters. I am more attached to the cast of characters in 4 than I was 5. Hana, I don't know if you're familiar with the Persona series at all. Okay, yeah.
I've played most of them.
See, yeah. So like there's just something about Yosuke and Chie and Riz and Yukiko that I just, and Teddy, and I think it's a overall better written, more believable cast of characters. That said, going through P4G again and replaying it does really, really. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It really kind of emphasizes just how far that series has come when it comes to dungeon design, because the palaces in Persona 5 are incredible, and the palaces in Persona 4 and really everything preceding that are just kind of hallways. That's really what.
So bad.
Yeah, that's really what they are. Like it's not great. But I will say that I think the music in P4G is an absolute high of the entire Persona series. There is not a single bad track on this. Every time Reach Out to the Truth comes on, whenever I just like it just makes me happy. Puts a smile on my face. And in between that, I'm finishing up my Super Mario RPG run, and I'm looking forward to Shin Megami Tensei 3 HD next week. That's what I got.
So the only thing I'm gonna say against that is I love Persona 5's music. I've never played a Persona game, but I will always think of all the memes that came out when Persona 5 came out. And one of them was fucking Mo Sislak from The Simpsons dancing to the theme song. Literally, like, I think of that shit at least weekly. Like, it's one of my favorite fucking things.
This another show and another Simpsons reference, and CJ's not here. My heart breaks.
No, it's because I'm here. Like, if I didn't show up, maybe he would have taken place.
When was the last time you guys were on a podcast together?
I think when he joined, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that was the last time we were on a podcast together.
I think there's a deeper issue here that needs to be explored. I truly do. Brittany, what are you playing?
I don't think so. So I'm playing WoW. I streamed a little bit of Nier, and I actually started playing 14 again. Also,
One of us.
Why didn't you tell me?
I just like installed it and everything, and did the updates, and just kind of logged on to see where I was at in the game.
Oh, okay.
Also, my husband is on call, so I might have to mute for a little bit because his computer is right next to mine. But real quick, I just want to talk about CJ's tweet about Mass Effect, because I feel like it's really important to bring up. He said, I had a conversation in Mass Effect with Rex last night in which he basically said, I don't hate humans, but I don't compare their suffering to my species. It absolutely messed me up. I don't think I've related to anything in a game quite like that. And I think that's a really important message, not only for him, but simply because it is this is dialogue from a game that's what, 10 years old? Over 10 years old?
14 years old.
And for something to age that well, I think really says something about not only the storytelling in the game, but just how to deal with being a minority in a predominant human society. And I think a lot of those themes are going to pop out the more. I haven't been able to play through Mass Effect. I haven't been able to play through a lot of Nier because I have an ear infection, and it's giving me really bad migraine. Yeah. And it's giving me really bad migraine. So like the shooting, like I can't play Resident Evil 8. I can't play anything that's not like an MMO where I'm just running in place, basically.
Britt totally missed it.
What?
I asked if you had a Nier infection.
A Nier? Oh God.
Someone clip that the moment she gets it.
I'm just sitting here really proud. And also, John can no longer give me crap for my puns because he does them whenever he thinks of them. So I'm here for it.
Real quick before we move on from Mass Effect, just to follow up on what Britt said and CJ's tweet, I think one of the great things about Mass Effect that I think probably just flew over my head at the time because I just didn't get it back then is
right.
Yeah, like how much really good stuff is in there, but it really like
it's
you're
tasteful.
The hero. You're a hero, but it doesn't like idolize humanity. Like it really pushes back on a lot of the conventions and stuff like that, where like, hey, you guys, like maybe you come in here and you're the newest species and you're just acting like you're all that and you want your place on here, like, and everything really like pushes back. Like, no, actually, like you humans aren't shit, and like you don't get to be entitled and just take all this stuff. So, and then there's the space racist Ashley, but we won't get into that. But
yeah, and I think like, does anybody know? Have they played a game with Ashley where she grows as a character?
By 3, she has grown.
I saw somebody on Twitter say that Ashley would have stormed the Capitol.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm sure she does grow.
Ashley would have stormed the Citadel.
One, yeah.
Ashley would have stormed the Citadel to get a human on Spectre on board.
But like I said, I just think it's really important to talk about like the theme of Mass Effect and how a game that was made 14 years ago can resonate with people today. And tastefully address these issues, right? Like there's nothing like it makes you uncomfortable in the right ways. Like Ashley, like if you're not uncomfortable by Ashley, then that's probably a good indication of the type of person you are in real life. So
and most of the dialogue options like reflect that. They aren't like, oh yeah, you're right, like fuck these aliens or something. They're like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yep.
Like what do you have against it? Like they're just helping us out like everyone else. Like
one last thing and then we can move on because I thought it was really funny. So Zach is playing it right now, and his oldest daughter, my stepdaughter, she is 18 years old, just graduated high school. So she's been sitting out and watching him play, and they were talking about the romance options in the first game, which is of course Liara and Ashley, and he was like, yeah, I'm going with the blue alien, and she's like, oh yeah, that's super cool, like you should anyway. And she was like, well, what's wrong with Ashley? And he was like, well, Ashley's kind of racist, and he kind of talked about it. And then literally right after that, he walked up to Ashley, went to talk to her, and the first thing she said is, can I speak out of turn or something, Commander? And she was like, I'm really uncomfortable with all these aliens on these ships. And she was like, oh my
god.
Classic.
I played through all the Mass Effect games once and I never touched them again. It's not that
I think they have really good like better gameplay, and I think they have really good like if you're not going to play for the gameplay, which I understand, I think the story is still really important, at least in the first one. The first one's actually my favorite.
I will die on the hill that Mass Effect 2 is the pinnacle of the series. Even though the final boss
Mass Effect 2 was forgettable to me. I don't know why. I don't think it's a bad game.
Two really resonated with me. Especially like I feel like 2 had some of the best characters like Jack and Kasumi. I just
I didn't like that they were locked behind. Like I don't like when characters are locked behind fucking 1 DLC and 2 paid DLC.
Like, Kasumi being locked behind DLC was lame.
So was Zaid?
Zaid? Yeah, Zaid.
It was pre-order DLC,
which was funny because he's like totally forgettable.
Right, and I got into the game obviously not when I could pre-order it, so I didn't have an opportunity to play with him.
Shout out to our friends at Uppercut Crit who just had an article go up today about how all the Mass Effect characters are like war criminals and
various shades of just moral reprehensibility.
Oh, we love them.
So, Finn, why don't you go ahead and go, and then we'll move on. Finn, go ahead.
Move on. Yes. So I mean, we've already talked a lot of Mass Effect. I have been replaying Mass Effect. I am determined to get the triple plat. So I'm playing on insanity difficulty and doing everything.
Going for that. That's like the polar opposite of Jeff. You and Jeff are like, it's like that Opposites Attract song from Paul.
You have a kid now. You can't play that much games. You don't have time for that.
So I'm already level 39.
How? You have a newborn. How?
Paternity leave. She takes naps, and that's when I game. So anyway, so I'm a level 39 on my insanity playthrough, and I'm almost done all the unexplored world stuff, which is I think the most tedious aspect of the original game.
Oh yeah,
then I'll be able to just
dude. Yeah,
then I'll be able to just mainline the main plot planets and beat it, but getting there is half the fun. I'm mixing it up this time. I've never played a femshep, and I'm not usually I play a male soldier because I was on sanity difficulty, and that was like the easy mode for that. But now I'm playing an infiltrator, and I can't romance Tali anymore, so I have to figure out who I'm going to go with this playthrough. And I think I'm going to actually keep Caden around and see if he ever becomes not terrible. So I'm excited.
Did we I feel like it needs to be mentioned. Like you mentioned Tali, and for years we wondered what she looked like underneath that mask, and then we find out that she just looks like a human, and it was a stock photo of a model that they got from Google and just slightly recolored. Oh, has it now? Has it really?
Also,
what does she look like
when I lay
now?
in bed at night? I don't know. I haven't gotten to Mass Effect 3 yet. I'm also John's favorite game. I'm playing some Picross.
Oh, that's so boring. Like it's just math.
Yes, and it's
Ew,
awesome.
No, but
it's the
no,
best.
that's gross. But I also have a learning disability called dysgraphia, so I literally
So maybe
cannot.
not for you.
I literally can't play Picross.
Is that actually a thing?
It is. It's like dyslexia, but with numbers. Or I'm sorry, the technical term is dyscalculia. Like it's a mouthful, but it is. It's much rarer than dyslexia, but it is literally dyslexia, but with numbers. I need a calculator to do the simplest math problems.
This is actually a thing. I'm sorry, John. I'll never doubt you again when you tell me something.
I mean, I will. I still will.
Why would you've doubted me in the past? Don't answer that. So, Finn, you got anything else?
Mass Effect and Picross. No, Caitlin's been playing a shit ton of Pokemon Snap, but that's it.
All right. So before we move on to our topics here, I want to throw something out. I want to throw something out here just to get a little serious for a minute. I want to make it very clear to everybody listening that SDGC, and I know that I speak for all of us, we support the Palestinian people. And there are, please, if you can, there are so many charities that you can donate to right now to victims of genocide, particularly Palestinian children. There's the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund is the first one that I think of, and I should have had a link for it. I wish I had a link for it. But you know what's happening over there is a tragedy to the mind, to the heart, and there's so many innocent people dead that didn't need to be, that shouldn't be. And you know, we're all sitting here talking about video games and laughing together on a Thursday night, and that's great. And that's fine. We should all have a good time together. But everybody in chat here, please remember that there are individuals across the sea right now who aren't doing that, who don't have that luxury like we do. And if you can, you know, everybody here is of different means, but if you can spare a few dollars, please go to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund and donate what you can, because I guarantee you there's a child out there who wishes that, I mean, you know, right now we're sitting in comfort and we don't have to worry about a missile or a rocket coming through our roof, but there are kids over there who don't have that luxury. So please, just, you know, if nothing else, take this as a reminder that we should take nothing for granted. And we really need to enjoy what we have. So please keep the Palestinian people in your thoughts and donate to them if you can. I would really appreciate that. I just wanted to I wanted to make it absolutely clear where this podcast stands on that. And again, I know that I speak for everybody here. So let's move on to our very first topic. And what do we want to start with? Do we want to do hold on. You guys can hear me, right? Okay,
yep.
Cool. I just my internet looked like it was going wonky for a minute. So I just wanted to make sure. So look at that. We got a link in the chat for the relief fund. Perfect. So if you're in chat and you want to donate something, please feel free. That would be fucking fantastic. So what topic do we want to start off with? Do we want to go with Jeff? Why don't you kick us off, man?
Oh God.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I think we're kind of reaching for topics this week. This year is like there's either no news or like there's all the news.
Glut of news. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean this one's a small thing. So we, The Last of Us 2 got an update today. I have no concept of time. I don't even know if this was today or yesterday.
It was today. It was today, right?
Yesterday.
Was it yesterday? I think Finn's wrong, but I'm just going to say that because it's Finn. But I'm sorry. Look, I got to be true to myself.
I got an update for PS5. 60 FPS now. It's one of these it's the biggest. Sony has really messed up. Like their backwards compatibility works, but it's really screwed up their messaging because all the headlines read like The Last of Us 2 is now has a free PS5 upgrade, and everyone gets really confused, but it doesn't actually have a PS5 version. It's running in PS4 backwards compatibility mode, they've just unlocked the frame rate basically to let it run at 60. So there's no other enhancements, but it's just giving it a little bit more access to the power of the new console and stuff. And it's, I don't know, one of the most popular games last year.
It was,
and it's a big deal.
Hana, did you ever play The Last of Us 2?
Not 2. I played 1. I watched someone play 2 for most of it.
It's like watching like an HBO series, right? Like if you're watching somebody play it, like I think that's.
I mean, you're watching most of The Last of Us, anyways. So.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I didn't feel like I missed much.
Yeah. I love The Last of Us. And I love The Last of Us 2. I don't know if I'm in a place mentally right now to play through that game again at this moment. Because go ahead, Jack.
I said it when it came out. Like, I think that was an amazing. Like, it was a brave game. It was a brave sequel. What it did with the narrative and how it flipped some player expectations and stuff, and challenged like your ideas of a hero. And I understand complaints against it. I'm a big fan of what Naughty Dog does. I like those style of like movie games because, again, I'm not big on like, I don't care about combat, and I just want the story, and they deliver on that front. I don't know if I ever want to play that game again.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure either.
I think it was close to a masterpiece, but it was so fucking exhausting. I just can't even fathom playing that again. I can't imagine going through that again.
Dude, it really, like, it went on about 2 hours too long.
It was like 5 hours too long.
You think so?
There was definitely there was just some levels that like there was clear padding. It's like, oh, this is a video game. We need to stretch this a little bit more.
Like, honestly, like, and spoilers here, obviously, but the game's over a year old. And fucking everybody and their mother played it. The game should have ended at that moment where Ellie and the kid were sitting on the tractor, looking out over the land. Like, that's when the game, like, the credits should have just started rolling. That would have been a great ending. But instead, like, there was more, more death to go. I don't know. Like, it just, to me, it
kind of like missed the point of the whole ending if you end it there. But I mean,
yeah, I know there's that whole arc of
I don't want to get into spoilers.
Right? Okay. Yeah,
anyway,
right. That's an argument we can have. We're not an argument, but that's a discussion we can have later. But
my thing is less about the quality of the game, because I loved 1 and 2, but like Mass Effect, I can replay because it's been 14 years since I played those games, like 14 to 11 years since I played these games. So enough time has passed that like I've forgotten little bits. So the game feels fresh and new. But I just played Last of Us 2. Yeah. And yeah, it's really cool that it's now better, but I need more time before I'll rededicate X amount of hours when there's already so much stuff to play that is brand new experiences. So that's basically how I balance replaying older games versus new stuff. Has it been long enough that it'll feel like a new experience, or am I just going through the motions again to play it? I don't know. That's my hot take. So 1 year is not long enough.
So I actually have I have kind of like a subtopic for this that I want to throw to Hana first, since we're talking about The Last of Us. What are your thoughts on that on that rumored remake of The Last of Us? Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand. It's a full remake, right? Like they're not
like a full.
Like they just did the PS5 update like today or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's supposedly a full remake.
It's a full remake. Yeah.
I mean, people are still buying the old one, and you're updating the new one to 4K 60 frames per second. Is there a lot more you can do?
Like, why would
you do anything else?
That game came
and
out.
The remaster for The Last of Us already has a 4K mode, and all they would have to do is just unlock it to 60 FPS, and you're done. Like,
yeah.
So here's my thing, real quick, Finn, real quick. This game came out less than a decade ago. The game came out in 2013. Why? Like, and I believe the rumor. I believe it. Like, I think it's probably true.
No, I believe it 100%.
Yeah,
too.
100%. Like I think this is a really thing that's happening, and that's super disappointing because I was really hoping that Naughty Dog would either do a wrap up the story of The Last of Us. Although I feel like The Last of Us 2 ended pretty definitively, or at least it ended the way it needed to. Or try something new, like move on to a different genre of game. But if you're just gonna remake The Last of Us,
to be fair, I don't think they have their full studio on it. Like, I'm sure they have a
but
yeah. I get it's just not necessary.
Even if they,
I agree.
send it to another studio that does remakes, it's still
Give it
just
to
I mean, as long as people are getting paid, I guess. But
something, Jeff, you have to say that out loud. What you just said, Jeff, I'm fucking dying, dude.
I just said Jim Ryan's in his basement playing The Last of Us remaster on PS4. Like, this is ancient. Who the fuck would play this? This is just like garbage. I can't.
All right, I'm gonna be the
one wants to
contrarian.
play these old games.
I'm gonna be the contrarian. As long, I mean, if they have a separate team working on it, I'm all for it because this is not a remaster like the other one was on PS4.
But you don't need to remake it. It was,
I'm sorry,
was like
can
a
I
10
talk
out of
real
10
quick?
game. I'm just
John,
saying, Finn. All right,
so
fine, talk.
And if it comes out obviously not next year, so it'll be coming out right around the 10th anniversary. And think about true remakes of games. The Final Fantasy VII remake, the original GameCube remake over Resident Evil 1, or even RE2 remake. Remakes are worth it 9 times out of 10. Remasters and upscaling, it's like but they're throwing around the word remake. So I'm actually excited to see how they're going to update that and change it.
Right, and what has everybody been playing on their PS5s right now?
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy VII is literally a new game.
Mass Effect's not even a real remake; it's more of a remastering.
That's not a remake at all.
So, interesting thing. I actually forgot about this, but I did have this conversation a while ago, and it really changed my mind on the whole thing. Mr. Delaby in chat is bringing up the accessibility aspect of this. And I mean, when we talk about remakes or remasters or ports, we're usually talking about 4K or like the graphics or the gameplay and stuff like that. But Sony, I mean, everyone's been getting better at accessibility, but Sony especially and Naughty Dog particular, and The Last of Us 2 have been heavily praised for their accessibility options and making these games more accessible to a bigger audience of people. And that Last of Us remaster is basically just a quick shine on a PS3 game that's almost coming up on 10 years old now. So ignoring, the fact that remake's a little goofy, ignoring the graphics are good, it doesn't need to be remade. Taking that and putting it into a modern SKU with all of the accessibility options that are available in The Last of Us 2, he says, there's people on Twitter saying I couldn't play the original Last of Us. I could play the Last of Us 2. I would love to play that first game in the same manner that the second game offered me with all these options and stuff like that. So it's just, food for thought. We roll our eyes a little bit about, and I do too, but it's just interesting to take that perspective from other people and look at it a different way.
Yeah, like our friend Steve Saylor, he was a big proponent on the accessibility of Last of Us 2.
Steve's a good guy.
And and Last of Us 1, is from an era before accessibility became anyone's actual concern. Now, this is a great segue into our next topic.
Which you
today
could just add those, but you could just add,
yeah,
well,
I was going to say,
accessibility
Control
awareness
added
day.
a ton of accessibility features after the fact, which I know is a newer game, but I feel like you could just
add those
update the
features.
remaster
Yeah,
with those
that's what I'm
accessibility
thinking
features
too,
instead of
Hana.
But now they
creating
can
an
do that
entire
while
whole-
also remaking the whole game, so everybody wins.
and make you pay $60 more.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want accessibility.
Actually, 70. Thank you very
70.
much.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
No, but
actually, Finn.
I'm pro remake. I'm sorry. I think it's gonna be cool. If it's a game I really like and you're gonna remake it over remastering it, I'm usually for it. I can't think of the last time a remake let me down. So, but like I said, that's a great segue into our next topic, which is today is GAAP, Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And like Jeff said, because today Insomniac came out and showed off all of the accessibility options for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
It was pretty impressive.
And it's awesome. Because I love this stuff because it's not really, it's nothing that actually affects me as a gamer, because I'm very fortunate that I don't need accessibility options to play games, but I have lots of friends that have various issues across the spectrum. And the fact that nowadays games are getting this attention, especially from the big developers, like both Microsoft and Sony today came out with big announcements by like, look at all the ways we are making accessibility a forefront of our development. And that's going to start trickling down to the smaller developers, smaller being EA, Activision, Ubisoft, and then indies. And like, it's just because it's having the big dogs take it so seriously is really cool. And nowadays you're finding jobs in the industry like accessibility experts or accessibility consultants. And like, this is just not a thing that ever really existed in the industry even 5 years ago any meaningful degree.
Well, Finn, I think we need to, if we're going to talk about that, we need to acknowledge an individual and an organization that is, extreme.
That was, I was bringing it up, but please.
Yeah, no, Finn, go ahead, man.
No. Like you have the stronger connection to him. It makes sense for you to segue.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I mean, you've got to give a lot of the credit to that for Steven Spahn, who is a friend of the show,
Able Gamers,
personal friend of mine, and and Able Gamers. Without Steven and Able Gamers, a lot of this stuff simply wouldn't exist. Like, I mean, they worked hand in hand with Microsoft to create the Xbox Adaptive Controller, which changed the game
100%
for gamers across the world.
I can't even imagine just the like war of attrition that they have spearheaded to get these small games that have so slowly snowballed. Because a lot of it can be just directly tied back.
Well, here's what pisses me off about this, and I know all of you will probably have something to say, and I'll throw it to Hana first. As I want to get our guest in on this. But like today, especially, I have seen, and anytime really you bring up accessibility in games, you see so much vitriol and so much anger in the gaming community about, because people always boil that shit down to, I don't want an easy mode in Dark Souls, and it's like, okay, but that's not what it's about. We're not just talking about difficulty levels in really tough games. We're talking about accessibility options. Like, that's one small part of it, but it really brings out that elitist gatekeeping bullshit that I fucking hate about the gaming community in general. Like, as much as I love games, and I love games, like, I can't stand like half of the people who play them. and today is,
I really only like you guys. That's what it boils down.
That's about it.
Yeah,
That's
why I'm not on Twitter. I'm like, I want to talk to these people.
Yeah,
and I don't want any of that.
Yeah. But like, and like, look, like we're all able-bodied individuals. Like, Jeff actually does have a lot of issues with his hands. Jeff,
I got bonitis.
He's got the bonitis, and Jeff has issues with his hands. Hana, do you have any disabilities that inhibit your ability to play games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I use a wheelchair when I go to my job.
Oh wow, I didn't know. I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I tweet about it sometimes, but like it's not like something that like I really think about on a daily basis, I guess.
But this is I mean, this is a topic that is extremely important to you then.
Yeah, I have a spine condition. It's called Ankylosing Spondylitis. It slowly causes my spine to fuse together over the course of my life. I'm taking medication for it to slow that process down, but I still do have like a lot of chronic pain. And then I also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which causes my joints to be hypermobile. So I do have a lot of issues, especially playing games where it's like quick fire or something where you have to like press the button every time to fire, and there's no option to change it to like hold fire or toggle fire or anything like that. So I do tend to look for the accessibility features a lot, and I do appreciate like the recent boost in all of that, and especially like what Able Gamers is doing.
Do you feel like that's Oh, Jeff, go ahead, please.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Finish. No, I was just going to say I made light of it before, but I do have issues. I have because of my job, I've got repetitive stress injuries to my hands and wrists. And, I'm primarily a PC gamer. I grew up playing keyboard mouse, and I can't really use a keyboard and mouse anymore. I have to use controllers. And I've got a big collection of games on Steam, and most of the old games don't have any controller support. So I have to find mods and find ways around it. And even then, using a controller, it's like Hana said, anything where you repeatedly press the trigger and stuff like that, my hand, my finger just cramps up. The pain is excruciating. It goes all the way up through my tendons, all the way up through my forearm.
Jeff, there was a time you couldn't play games for several months, right?
6 months off playing games when it first happened. Yeah, back in 2018 or so.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
remember that.
and I was very fortunate before that to be very physically healthy, and it really opened my eyes to oh my God, and I have it easy. There's so many people that struggle so much worse. This shit is so important, and it's been so ignored for so long. So it's great that it's there's so much more focus on it.
And you know what? Just one of the most simplest examples of how gamers get mad at accessibility, but how it can help is just the stuff you described. When games allow you to switch QTEs to rapid button presses to just holding it down. Yeah. That is a game changer for so many people, but people will get red in the face saying how it's ruining the integrity of the game. And I'll just never understand those people. They suck.
Well, yeah, I always see those people going "Oh, you never earned something if you played it on the accessibility mode or
Jesus,
whatever." But what did you earn in the first place? It's a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Fuck you. If I dropped $90 to play this stupid game, I've earned to do whatever the hell
Especially
I want to do.
Single player game. Maybe with multiplayer games you might have a point, but even then, a disability is far more of a handicap than being able to see a red enemy on the horizon. Or something
the phrase that comes up all the time is not every game needs to be for everyone, but that's a bad faith argument, because what that should mean is a movie. Not every movie needs to be everyone. It means not everyone's going to like that movie. But everyone should at least be able to go in and sit through the movie and either listen to it through descriptive audio or subtitles, and at least be able to give it a chance and then decide if they like it or not. The problem with these games is not everyone. No, this game isn't for everyone, because they can't even get to the point where they can see if they like it or not, because they literally can't even play the game. And that's why these matter.
Sorry, I was just looking something up. So there was, who here remembers that tweet, and it became a meme. It became a fucking meme.
I've
actually got it right here. I've got it right here. It's you cheated not only, and it was somebody. It was somebody used. It was somebody. What's that?
Everybody, you don't even have to read it. Everyone knows what you're about to say.
You didn't grow, you didn't improve. It's what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I'm an adult. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked, and nothing was gained. And it's you're not fucking risking anything, dude. It's a single player game.
I just want to scream at these people this is a toy. It's a plastic box, and then it's a toy. You just
you know what it reminds me of? You know those little boxes, and they have the shapes in them, and you put imagine yelling at a baby for trying to put a different shape into a different hole, and it still fucking fits. Who cares? They got it in.
Video games are so important to me, but at the same time, when I first met my wife, and we sat down for our first ever date at dinner, I wasn't I didn't want to tell you this over the phone, when we met on Match.com, but I did clear Gwyn. I did clear Gwyn at the end of Dark Souls without getting hit once. I just did a lot of dodge rolls. I don't like to talk about it. It's it's part of my life. But I mean, who the fuck cares? I said it on Twitter today, and I'll say it again here. The more people that are able to play video games, in all seriousness, the more people that are able to play video games, the more, the better off the industry will be, because people will buy more video games. And when people buy more video games, more money gets given to the developers. And when developers get more money, they are able to make more video games. So I don't know. I don't know why anyone would have a problem with this.
It boils down to, why the fuck do you care what other people are doing with their free time?
You know exactly why.
So much.
it's like it goes beyond that. It's like it feels like all the problems in the world are just like, why do you care who someone else loves? Why do you care what they do in the bedroom? Why do you care what they watch, what music they listen to? Why do you fucking care what someone does in their basement, how they play a game with a controller by themselves, just trying to enjoy their short life on this planet? Like, who the fuck?
You know why, Jeff?
People live.
This is why. And it all boils down to one word: validation. People need to be validated.
I would thought you were about ready to fucking read that tweet again.
No,
honestly,
no.
One thing.
No,
you can't cheat yourself.
It's all about it's all about earning it and not experiencing a hollow victory. But no, it's about validation. People need their experiences validated, right? Somebody, for example, like let's say they they have this incredible achievement in a game. Like I beat the game without dying once. I beat Wolfenstein without dying once. It was awesome. And then they find out that somebody else did that, but they played it on casual. Oh, but he played it on easy. He didn't play it on warlord difficulty or whatever the fuck that the hardest difficulty is. Uber difficulty. Like he didn't do that, so he didn't really earn it. Like people take these experiences and make them part of their personality. And when they hear that somebody else did it, but they did it by playing an easier version of the game, for that person, their entire experience gets, for them, called into question because they are insecure about themselves. This isn't a problem with the other person. It's a problem with them. And I find that not just pathetic, but also really sad. Like I pity those people. If they expend so much energy worried about what other people are doing. Like Jeff said, not just in games, but in the bedroom, in their personal lives, in their social lives. They spend so much time worrying about what somebody else is doing that they are letting their entire lives slip away. And if you are spending that much time angry about somebody else's life, you are not living your own. And that to me is just fucking tragic.
That's what I don't understand. It's like why people, and I don't mean to derail from the point that accessibility in games is needed and wonderful, but I think that's a big reason, is like a big thing that bothers me is people just genuinely going out of their way to make other people feel inferior just because it makes them feel good, right? Like validation isn't a good enough excuse to me. It's just like you're putting people down in the process of trying to build yourself up. And if that's how you're trying to do it, that's not what, like, you need to find something else to do. You need to find something else to validate yourself, and you need to reevaluate yourself and stop putting other people down because they do things differently than you. Like it's that's the most frustrating thing about all of the Twitter engagements, right? Like the fights that you see constantly every day of just the back and forth, is it's just like these people who don't care about harassing other people, right? Like that's they like it, they enjoy it, and that's what bothers me. It's not necessarily what they say, it's the fact that these people live and exist and their whole purpose is just to bring other people down. Like they wake up and that's what they want to do, and that's like I don't want to be that person. I don't want any type of stuff like that in my life. So it's like I can't understand why you care so much what other people do with their time. Why you care so much about what other people say. Just let people be happy.
Hana, go ahead. You look like you had something to say.
Yeah, no, with what she was saying about like how it's just making people feel bad on purpose. I think a lot of them think it's like some kind of revenge because, like, I mean, we all played played video games like our whole life, got made fun of in high school or whatever for being nerdy or whatever. But then some of these people think like, oh, well, it wasn't cool to play games before, but it is now. So now I've been playing games the longest. Now I'm the cool guy. So now I get to bully these people, and it's just bullshit. Like, I get it all the time. Like, you haven't been playing games nearly as long as I have, and the first game I remember beating is Final Fantasy VII when I was like 4. Like,
You were 4?
that's an exaggeration. I
God.
was
Hell yeah.
I think I was 4 when it came out. When did it come out?
Oh, Jesus.
We got to get Hana and CJ on the same podcast.
God. I'm so elderly.
Okay, so just a shout out real quick. You remember how I said that CJ was really loving Mass Effect and that conversation with Rex just stuck with him?
Yes.
In his game, Ashley just shot Rex and Rex is dead.
Of course,
he's
of course she did. Of course she did.
so he's a little torn up right now. So everybody,
Do we need
F's
to
in chat and
F's
give
in
CJ
chat?
some love.
Let's get some F's in chat for CJ, who can't be with us tonight because
I was
mourning.
2 when Final Fantasy VII came out.
I mean,
was,
like, yeah,
And I was 8.
I was fucking 17. Jesus Christ.
no, just I'm in the middle ground. I think I was like 10 when FF7 came out. But like on topic of FF7, I just want to just to cap off this topic, I guess. Final Fantasy 7 was like my favorite game of all time up until like a couple years ago, and it's now Final Fantasy 14. But like we talk about like this, like people feel like threatened or like I like this thing the longest. I've been playing this the longest. Like that makes me better. My reaction when someone played like Final Fantasy Remake last year is not like, oh, actually, like, I like this game for 20 years. And I'm like, hey, that's fucking great. Someone else
And
found
it's
this
so
game.
different
Someone
that
else
it's,
got
like,
to experience this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's awesome. I'm so excited. And like my brain can't like process why anyone would think anything different. I don't understand it.
I do have a before we move on, I have got a question for Hana, and then I want Jeff to answer it too. I do think tying a nice little bow on the conversation about accessibility in games. I do feel, especially in the past, I don't know, couple of years, that we've come a long way in getting, as Able Gamer says, so everybody can play. But I still feel like there's much further that we need to go. And Hana, where do you think we need to go next in regards to accessibility in games? Like, what do you think is missing? What do you want to see from the industry going forward?
I think, well, obviously esports is competitive, so I'm going to get that out of the way. I know it's competitive, but I think esports needs to be more accessible.
Interesting.
Like, esports as a whole is the top tier, obviously, but I don't understand why there can't be, like, and I know, like, the champions, like, the Overwatch champions or whatever it's called now, I can't remember, contenders, that's what it was, where it's, like, kind of like the G League for the NBA or something, but, like, there needs to be a lot more support for those minor league teams, and even, like we have the Paralympics, like, why can't we have something like that where it's the best disabled gamers that can play against each other, like, and then you're not pitting like the Overwatch League pros, like you're not making like the New York XL go against like a bunch of people who can't bend their wrists, but like if you put some people on an even playing field, I think it'd open up the viewership a lot more.
No, I think that's great, and honestly, I'm glad you said that, because esports isn't something I would have considered, and I guess that's kind of my that's kind of the privilege that I have, I guess, of being a fully able-bodied person is that I don't have the insight on this kind of stuff that you do, because it's not a part of my life, and so thank you for opening my eyes to that, seriously, because that is something I never would have considered. Wow, I've got a lot to think about now. Jeff, what about you, man? Where do you think that the industry needs to go moving forward, in regards to making games easier for individuals to play who don't have or who aren't as able-bodied as others?
I mean, I struggle to talk on it. Like I have this problem with my wrists and stuff, but like I still don't feel like I'm qualified to speak for people with disabilities and stuff. So I don't really know, because I haven't experienced some of those struggles. I think where it needs to go next is more accountability, I guess, and more like, it's great that some of these big companies are really stepping up. Like Microsoft has done a ton. They've got the adaptive controller for the Xbox, and they're kind of leading the way, but I think there's still a lot of others that need to follow. And it's not even just like controllers and button configurations and stuff. It's, the game difficulty problem because like skill is a barrier to a lot of things. And I think it's just more, it needs to be ingrained at the really starting level. And I think a lot of times it's the culture of these companies, the culture of these developers and studios and stuff like that. So I think it really needs to be taught from that entry level position up and really reinforced by all the upper level management is like, these things matter. When we make a game, we have our budget and we've got our scope and we got our timelines and our milestones. And here's our accessibility. Like it has to be one of those core fundamentals of every game. I don't think it's there yet. I think it's great when companies like Naughty Dog that have hundreds of employees and millions of Sony dollars at disposal, they're like, yeah, we've got the cash to burn to hire 5 accessibility experts, but most games don't. And so they're not going to make that effort. So I think it's just more, we need to continue talking about it and expecting it and demanding it so that when a game comes out, we need to really hold it accountable if it doesn't have these things and if people can't play it and say like, you know, this isn't good enough. We expect more from you. And so that's, I think, where it needs to go on a high level.
And I think the more that exists, the more opportunities there will be for more people to be experts in accessibility and be consultants in games. Because like if you're passing around the same 5 people between games, there's only so many people who can be there. But if there's 15 people, that's 3 times the amount of people that can consult on a certain game or separate games, you know?
Well, that's why well, you know, Hana, that's why I'm glad you're here to talk about this stuff, especially today, because I was not aware that you suffered from, you know, multiple disabilities. You know, because I feel like whenever I talk about this stuff, like accessibility is something that is important to me personally because I want people to play games and I have a lot of friends who are not able-bodied, but it always makes me feel a bit disingenuous whenever I bring it up because it's not something that I deal with in my personal life. And so having you here to talk about that lends some real weight and gravity and credibility to the conversation. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I try my best.
So what are we closing on here? We got 10 minutes. Jeff,
we had a couple other topics, but like, I don't know. I think a lot of times we get stuck in this cycle because the games industry has so many problems and we, you know, talk about gatekeeping, stuff like that. So I want to end on a good note. So I thought we've done this before. Maybe each of us could just talk about something we're excited or looking forward to in the near future, whether it's like, you know, a new game, an old comfort game, just like what are we going to be doing the next few weeks that's going to bring us a little bit of joy and stuff like that. I thought that'd be a fun thing.
Oh, that's a really good idea, Jeff. Hana, why don't you go first?
Playing a lot of Pokemon Snap. I have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart pre-ordered. I'm definitely ready to spend multiple tens of hours in that.
Ratchet is so good. I love those games.
I think I have like 60 hours on the remake that was on the PS Plus collection. I think I've played every Ratchet and Clank game at this point too. Excuse me. And then I'm also looking forward to the Mario Golf game.
Yes.
They announced it. I have been super hyped on that.
So I will actually use that to segue into what I'm excited about because Mario Golf Advance is one of my favorite GBA games, and I'm so fucking excited about the new Mario Golf coming out. I'm gonna put 150 hours in that fucking game. I love Mario Golf. I'm very excited about Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD coming out next week. Because everybody who knows me knows I'm a JRPG guy. And I'll play almost any JRPG, and Shin Megami Tensei 3 is a fucking PS2 classic. I'm more than willing to play that again on my Switch. I'm also really excited about the Crosscode DLC coming out this summer, as I know Finn is as well. As that was a game of the year for me last year, or at least it was near the top of my list, and I would love to see how that story wraps up. I'm also very excited about Metroid Prime Trilogy coming out for Switch this year. We all know it's happening. This is the year. It's finally going to happen. Metroid Prime Trilogy on Switch. You heard it here. 110%.
That means it's not going to happen.
110%.
Why would you do this?
What is it that guy said today where it's like, look, I'm pretty sure Metroid Prime Trilogy is going to come out this year. They've
Done
had
since
it's been
September.
close to done since 2019, but after the release of Metroid Federation Force, they wanted to really make sure that it was released to perfection.
Very excited.
I'm calling it.
Very excited, but I'm also excited about the Analog Pocket, which now comes out in October. The Super NT that I got is literally one of the coolest gaming consoles I have ever owned, because it lets me play all my favorite Super Nintendo games at 1080p 60 frames a second on a nice big 55-inch 4K television. And the Analog Pocket is going to let me play Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color games on a little handheld at 10 times the resolution of a GBA with an IPS V2 screen, and I'm so fucking excited about that. But yeah, no, that's in the immediate future. That's what I'm super stoked about right now. Oh, and of course, Endwalker, duh, fucking the end of the 10-year story between Zodiac and Heidelin. Jeff, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say real quick. I want to jump back to Mario Golf because you and Hannah mentioned it. Does it have online this time? Like, is this finally a Nintendo game that's gonna have a online mode? Can we play together?
Yes.
Yeah, if it's not laggy as
Okay.
hell.
Yeah, I mean, Hana's right. Like, Nintendo infrastructure notwithstanding.
Good thing golf games don't require like precise timing or anything like that.
Yeah,
like,
although we can't play Mario
fine.
Party online now. We can do that.
We do
together,
need
Jeff.
to do that. We do need to do that.
But yes,
Fucking crickets after you said that, though. Oh my god.
Are you kidding? No, that's what we're doing
still
for our
don't own
charity
it.
game.
It is. I still need to buy it.
And who wants to go next? Jeff, you want to go next?
Final
Yeah, I
Fantasy
can
VII
go.
Remake.
Oh shit! I
God
forgot
damn
about that. Fuck. Yes, there's
Brit-
too many.
Yuffie's
Rich
DLC.
just called me out there. Yeah, that's I'm excited. I booked a day off tomorrow. I'm not good at taking time off work. I went like 4 years without taking a day off recently.
You're like Cal Ripken Jr. Man.
So I took a personal day tomorrow, and it's a long weekend here, so I'm gonna have a nice 4-day weekend. So I'm excited to just I don't get a lot of time. Like, all my gaming's played in like 20 or 30-minute bursts on my lunch break, or like in between chores or errands and stuff like that. It's really hard for me these days to like sit down and get immersed in something. So I'm just gonna play Mass Effect all day tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that.
Go.
Me too. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and with the tradition, like I said, there's no new games on my PS5 that I'm interested on. So I played Demon's Souls, a remake, and then I played the Spider-Man remaster from 2018, and I'm playing Mass Effect remasters. And yeah, I'm excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake, remaster, PS5 version, whatever you want to call it. I like strictly mainlined the original release because I knew I was going to play it either on PC or PS5. So I'm ready to go all in this time. I'm going to do all the side stuff, get the summons, just really like soak in that whole world, and just, yeah, it's going to be a good fucking time. I'm really, really stoked.
And Finn, what about you?
The answer is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
I know you're really excited about that.
The original Ratchet and Clank on PS2 was my favorite new IP of that entire generation, and considering the PS2 generation and what it brought is a big, bold statement, and I've been a fan of that franchise ever since. I've gotten a platinum in every single one that you can, 100% at all the rest. It's like one of the only franchises I'll do that for. I'm so excited. It looks so good. It's legit the reason I worked so hard to get a PS5, because we didn't even have a release date, but I knew I needed the system to be ready for it. Oh, Ratchet and Clank.
Finn, by the way, are you picking up any new Super Nintendo games for that Super NT you got now?
I need to find if there's any like secondhand stores near me. I haven't even tried to look because it's never been something I've had to worry about. I do have a pretty sizable collection of games already, but I really want to find like a cart for Terranigma, or a translation cart for Blue Bahamut Lagoon.
I've got a translated Bahamut Lagoon cart coming. I'll get you one.
So I'm and what else am I looking forward to this year? I always feel like there's nothing coming out the rest of this year, except for maybe like Deathloop. But then E3 is in like 3 weeks, and
we're gonna learn
be
so
hit
much
with
shit at E3. Yeah,
exactly, and it's all gonna be coming out later this year, early next year, or we might just have one of the driest years of all time and that's because COVID. And
So
we all just
excited
accept
for
it.
I'm so excited for Starfield to launch in late
All I know
2021. It's going to be
is that
great.
2022 and 2023 are going to be jam packed with so many games that COVID delayed. We're going to be eating real good in the next couple years.
Finn,
and hopefully we get to see each other, right?
Well, so I was going to mention that actually real quick. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Adam Bankhurst in chat from IGN. Haven't seen you in a while, Adam. Dude, so nice to have you here in chat.
Adam in chat.
Adam is the fucking
I miss
man.
your face.
Adam is the man. And like Britt said, you know what, Britt, I'll let you say it. Go ahead. You miss everybody and you want to see us.
Oh yeah. I hope that
that's what you're looking forward to.
I hope that with these upcoming games that we will I hope that things change a little bit. I hope that a lot of everything is still mainstream and streamed online. Like E3 was already pretty good about that before. I hope other like gaming shows and like PAX and stuff kind of takes some tips from that. But I really just want the opportunity to travel and hang out with my friends again and put my hands all over grimy controllers that other sick fucking gamers have been touching and just get the full experience.
Headsets with
oh god, yeah. Do you remember those, Jeff? Oh, that was.
I'll never forget. It was like PAX West 2011, 12. It was when Oculus Rift was first starting to come out. And that shit gave everybody pink eye.
Gave everybody the eye.
Not only that, but that was the same time as swine flu.
I just want to point out, I went to one con in 2019 with these guys, and I didn't get sick, so I'm 1 for 1.
I didn't get I got sort of sick.
I got sick it was clockwork. Like my work would get so annoyed when I went to these conventions because like I would leave for a week, come back, work a day, and then I'd have to take like X amount of time off because I was so fucking sick. They hated when I left.
PAX East last year straight up almost killed our podcast.
It really did. Yeah, and that was the first year, Jeff, that we had our actual first ever podcast specific panel, and we all almost died of a mystery virus.
I mean, I'm still not sure.
I would like to point out I didn't.
I got a little sick.
I was the only one. Justin and Derek missed the entirety of
almost
PAX.
the entire. Yeah, I thought Justin was gonna die.
John died on Sunday. Saturday night
I started feeling it. Yeah.
And Sunday he was out.
Do you remember
and
we were having that hot pot,
like,
Finn? We were having that hot pot, and I was all like, I was in the corner of the booth shivering because I could feel my fever climbing, and I was just.
Can you guys shared hot pot when you felt like that?
No,
he didn't feel like it yet. No, like all right, it was John, me, Liana, Kenneth Shepard.
Ken Shepard.
It was a whole group of awesome people.
Eric Van Allen from US Gamer was there. Yeah.
It was good times. But John didn't know he was sick. And isn't that how things spread? Because by the time you realize you're sick,
you fucking maybe not eat fucking hot pot at a convention, you nasties.
Hey, you know what? I kept my hot pot to myself. Okay. I didn't let anybody else touch my hot pot.
Hot pots are awesome, and I regret nothing because I didn't get sick. So therefore your theory is invalid.
That was also do you remember how it was like walking through a fucking frozen tundra? Oh my god!
I could not have been that cold.
Oh, dude,
it was
Jeff. It really was.
All right, not Canada cold. It wasn't Canada.
Oh, dude,
but it was Boston. It was Boston in February cold. Okay,
Brittany, what are you excited about this year?
Real quick, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Yuffie's DLC, and fucking the one. Hold on, Knockout City. I am very excited for that. I want to throw some fucking balls. That sounds like it's going to be a super fun game, and I think it just launched today. I think.
Did it really?
That's
like zero fanfare.
Maybe not. I think it maybe tomorrow. I think early tomorrow or midnight.
It makes
tonight.
me want a new Punch-Out game.
It's just oh god, it looks like the type of game that it just seems super fucking fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so
also I don't know what else. Like, what else is coming out this
Well,
year?
that's the thing, Britt, is we're gonna learn. Like, apparently this year's E3 is gonna be a big one for a lot of games. So
Not that I can play games right now anyway, but it's still nice to dream.
one thing I am expecting, obviously, is
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. That's what I'm
remakes,
excited
yeah.
for.
Well, and also,
Oh, I forgot
that
one.
legend.
Sorry. Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Ooh,
oh
yes.
yeah, right,
Fucking yes.
yeah. Oh, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Finn, out this year, finally.
Sure. I believe you when I play it.
And of course, I would say Project Triangle Strategy, but that's not till next year, right, Finn?
Correct.
Yeah.
They straight up said that
Yeah,
it's
right.
early 2022.
That sucks because I really, really am excited about that.
I know.
We are hitting the end of our Thursday night ride here. I want to thank Hana so much for spending some time with us tonight and just bullshitting and also lending your incredibly valuable insight to our discussion on accessibility in games. Hana, if people in chat wanted to find you on Twitter, where could they do so?
I am at _Hana23 on pretty much anything.
And that's
HANA
yeah
23 spelled out.
Yeah. No, please go follow Hana. She has been one of my favorite new follows on Twitter recently. Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Seriously.
Thank you for having me.
We are rescheduling our next big Trevor Project fundraiser for June, actually, because it just makes more sense to do it in Pride Month. So I think we're looking at the middle of June for that. We've already got some big streamers lined up. Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me is going to join us once again. We've got
And he killed it last time.
He crushed it last time. Mary Kish from Twitch is going. She's not a streamer. She's actually at Twitch. She is going to join us as well. Also, I can reveal here for the first time publicly that we will be on the front page on Twitch for our next big Trevor Project stream.
Did I know that?
No, you didn't. So the first time ever that SDGC will have front page status on Twitch.
That's incredible.
So that's going to be really fucking cool. Yes, it is very nice, Adam. We're very, very excited about that. And of course, the last time we did our first Trevor Project stream or fundraiser, we ended up in the top 10 fundraisers for the quarter. For the Trevor Project, and we are looking to take that even further next month. So we also have Justin and myself and Justin's, whatever. I'm fucking tired. Our Resident Evil 8 review will go live tomorrow, as well as finally the fourth episode of Dual Daddies with myself and Amanda and Brittany. Because we were able to.
We can finally do the fifth episode where Finn comes back.
It took me like a fucking month to fix the goddamn file, but it's fixed. So Dual Daddies and Resident Evil 8 will be up tomorrow. Jeff, am I missing anything? Do we got anything else coming up?
I think that covers it.
All right, can we get a Nightbot in the chat one more time for the Discord, Rar? Yeah, that's our Discord. Please feel free to join it. Hana, you should jump in there as well. You should join our Discord.
Yeah, for sure.
You would really enjoy it in there, I think. And if nobody has anything else, that's all the time we have for tonight. So thank you again to our wonderful guest. Please go follow her on Twitter. And remember, no matter what happens, kindness costs nothing. Take care of each other, and we will see you all next week.